Wow, your camera is like really wide. It's like got a really nice wide lens.
Really?
I feel like, yeah.
No, I don't actually like, I don't think they compare it to, honestly.
I feel like on my laptop, it's not like wide angle like that. We will totally cut one of us out. Wow, it's raining pretty hard.
Yeah, I noticed the lights flickering earlier.
Should I turn this one off or leave it on?
I prefer.
Okay.
You have a strong preference?
Nope, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
Got background ambiance. I feel like this is pseudo in person.
It kind of is. It's kind of like half and half.
I can't remember the last time I did yoga with another like human being.
Well, but you do aerial yoga.
I do aerial silks.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not yoga.
I'm making I was like trying to figure out, is this the same screen? Hi. It is possible. We're not expecting it, but I did invite my mother, and Jen is sure that she is not coming.
I feel like that's not very likely either.
Yeah, she's tired. She doesn't have to feel. No, those are her ways of saying I don't feel like coming.
I can't hear.
I can't hear you.
It's okay. Jackson is here.
We're early.
What's that? Early?
Early.
Who's early? You're early. We're early.
Everybody.
Everybody's early. We were just hanging out here. So we've got, I think you've seen those blue mats in the back. So we've got 2 sets of them, one on each side of the bench that this is sitting on. And Jackson has been going back and forth between them.
We're gonna get another cat sit on other mats. And he's like,
Maybe. I'm pretty sure he doesn't understand when we talk about other cats.
I'm pretty sure.
I haven't checked to see visibility here. How does everyone feel today?
Tired, but good.
Tired?
I'm
Do we
in need of some yoga for sure.
do we prefer a fully relaxed practice, or would you be interested in strenuous isn't the term, but would you be interested in things that are not pure yin?
I'm okay with a hybrid.
Okay.
With a hybrid, yeah, no.
And I guess my related question would be, are there any requests?
I feel like I had a request last time and then I forgot because I forgot to say it. And it's the same, but I don't remember what it was.
They're always the same.
Feet, stretch the feet.
Well, anything lower body.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wait, what about the body?
Anything lower body.
Anything lower body. Well, I've got some lower body things in mind. Well, that's fine. If they call the baseball game, that's perfect, because then they can resume it after yoga. And in the meantime, I don't even know if yoga has a rain god, but if yoga has a rain god, then that could work out nicely here. There's probably, well, I don't know. I mean, there are gods, but there's like, I don't think that they're like, well, they are. I don't remember enough. I was in a class yesterday. There's a rainbow pose. There is.
There. Oh, yeah. Isn't rainbow just a back bend?
Would it be? Isn't that just like
And then you
Wheel.
wheel? Yeah, it's wheel. Jen's thinking of something like well, here. Oh, that's hilarious. They actually are stopping it. Okay, that totally, Jen, that is.
Above your head so your elbows are straight.
Okay. Is it essentially Bananasana with your hands extended and you're lying down?
You're standing up.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So we can do reclined rainbow. Let's, Jen, are you? Okay. We should. All right. Why don't we begin?
Wait, Andrew, do we need all those props that you have in front of you?
You will need a strap today. And I would probably recommend 2 blocks. Although I'm still figuring that out.
Right here.
Okay. And I have a couple things in mind. Dana, you said whole body?
Lower body.
Lower body. I thought that you said, then I was like, wait, I can't remember anything. I need to stretch my mind because it doesn't do things. I think it's always done this. There's this podcast that I listen to, and the guy, he's really smart, but he's always forgetting names, and then he talks about, when you all get to be my age, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. And he knows he's forgetting names. No.
Andrew, I play Word Feud with you. You're very good at stretching your mind.
No, Word Feud is a fascinating thing because one of the things that I like about it is it doesn't require any thinking that requires, it doesn't require coming up with anything. It doesn't require creative thought or things that feel like effort for the most part. It's like I have a
So
set
it doesn't
of
require thinking?
Speak for yourself.
it's a type of thinking, but there's different types of thinking. Like okay, does doing data entry require thinking? Like it
Yes.
requires a certain type of thinking, right? But it's not thinking that requires some sort of creativity or something.
No,
You
it's
can just
mostly executive functioning skills.
But Word Feud requires more than data entry thinking for me.
I gotta look this up. But Andrew, we should probably start.
Sorry, apologies. Yes, let's start. Yes, we're 2 minutes behind. So why don't we begin? We've typically been starting out in chest opener recently, but let us begin seated on a block or 2 blocks with your legs in any sort of comfortable configuration. I love that. I love that term, configuration. You might even, I'm gonna offer this one as a possible suggestion today. You might, because this is the sort of thing I have been taking recently, where you might even start in like a cobbler's pose with supports underneath of your knees if you have something that is preventing your knees from going all the way out. Also, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I figured I didn't, and it's coming through here. So presumably the headset is working, and I'll keep an eye out for if there's a disconnect or something and I lose things like that one time. And we learned when I did this last time, we learned that if someone calls, even if the phone is on do not disturb, then it will like disconnect the headset. And in any case,
Right.
I invite you to, what do we call them? Why don't we do the mudra thing and take your thumb and your forefinger and connect them. Let your other 3 fingers hang out. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling and allow your arms, wrists, or back of the hands to rest on your knees. Maybe close your eyes and bring your awareness Why don't we start by bringing the awareness to the back of the neck? And from the back of the neck, let's take it over to the left side of the neck and think about, is there tension that we are holding there that we can release? Can we think about the left shoulder being heavy and the left shoulder blade? Can you draw that down your back? And take your awareness back up to the middle of the neck and then over to the right side of the neck and towards the shoulder. Can you let that shoulder get heavy? Can you pull that shoulder blade down the back of your neck? Okay. Bring your awareness back up to the back of your neck and then up to the crown of your head. And for a moment, use that awareness in the crown of your head to focus on pulling your head towards the ceiling. Pulling is almost a harsh word. Maybe don't even think of it as pulling. Think about that your head is awfully light and that it is levitating. Like your head is inside this elevator and the elevator is just going up and there's a slight current of your head moving up towards the ceiling. And take a deep breath in here. Exhale, sigh it out. And take another deep breath in here. And exhale, sigh it out. And take one more deep breath in here. And this time on the exhale, let your head fall forward, chin coming down to chest. Let your head hang heavy. Keep your shoulders heavy so that you can increase the length in the back of your neck. Take your hands, release your mudra. Take your hands down to the sides, down to the ground, palms face down to each side. And then lean a little bit more forward. If this isn't comfortable for you, make any adjustment that you need. As always, it's your own practice. We will have some more forward folds where we take some support under there. Also, it has started to rain here very, very heavily. Now, I don't know if that means that we're at risk for, I guess we're on the phone. So as long as the phone continues to maintain some sort of internet, we're okay. I don't know if the rain is up quite where you are.
Just passed.
Just passed, okay. From this position, roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. I know that this could be a little bit strenuous because of the lean forward. So we won't stay here too long, but pull that right ear towards that right shoulder. Feel the stretch in the left neck, and then pull the left tricep down towards the side body to get a little bit more length in the left side neck. Go ahead and release that. Let the head hang back down. And then take the head over towards the left ear towards left shoulder. And then right tricep towards right side body. Right shoulder pulls back. Take one deep breath in here. And exhale. Let the head come back down towards center. And then drawing from the crown of the head, pull the head back up to a neutral position. go ahead if your legs are to the sides like mine are, maybe take your hands underneath each of them. Use that to put the knees, pull the knees together. Make your way down off of your block and make your way into tabletop position. We'll go right into cat. Actually, no, we won't. We'll take a couple of cat cows alternated with some child's poses and a sphinx and a sphinx variation. So go ahead and start by letting the belly get heavy for our cow pose, pulling the head, crown of the head up, tailbone up, inhaling, and then exhaling, dropping the head, rounding the spine, pushing the tailbone forward, pushing the shoulder blades away from each other, pushing into the hands, into the mat. Inhale, push the chest forward, belly comes down, tailbone comes up. Exhale, drop the head, tailbone comes forward. Shoulders push away from each other. One more time here. Inhale, chest comes up. And exhale, round the spine. Come to neutral. Walk your legs out, walk your knees out so that they are at the sides of the mat for a wide-legged child's pose. You can either take a deeper child's pose where your hips come all the way back towards between your legs, or if you'd like, take a block and set that up between your legs. Let your seat come down either onto your mat or onto your blocks. Let your head come down onto the mat. Reach your arms forward. Reach your arms forward just enough so that reach your hands forward just enough so that your arms come off of the mat, and then pull your arms back in a little bit so that they can rest there. Think about taking a deep breath into the belly, feeling it expand against the thighs. Exhale. One more deep breath into the belly. Exhale. I want you to think about, I want you to imagine, hey, okay, I'm not trying to turn this into spooky yoga. I was going to say something about Halloween yoga, but Halloween yoga is always, you can tell you're in Halloween yoga because the music will have Thriller in it. I was going to ask if there's any chance that house you were in is haunted. Not a bad sort of haunted.
Wait, there's a good haunted?
I mean, okay. Well, here's the good haunted. Okay, I want you to imagine that Casper and Casper's twin brother Casper, the friendly ghost twins, live in your house. Okay, and that they have showed up to yoga as and they are in ghost teacher training. And in ghost teacher training, one of the things that they need to do is that they need to provide assists. So don't do this if you're not comfortable with ghost assists. But if you are comfortable with ghost assists, I'd ask you to reach out with your mind to your friendly house ghost. Are they people? Ghost people? Let's call them ghost people. And imagine that Casper has his hands on your lower back, one hand on each side, one ghost hand. And they feel just like regular hands. Maybe they're a little bit cold to the touch, but just a little bit, not like cold spots. All right. Oh, I gotta make some adjustments here for my seat support. Okay. All right. And then imagine that Casper is pushing down on your lower back. I mean, it's funny. It is funny, and it's funny, but it's also a mental tool. And if you visualize or imagine these things, then your body will take some actions to accommodate, and your mind will take some actions to accommodate. And in the absence of actually being able to provide an assist, maybe you can get some of the benefit that you would get if you just visualize getting the assist, whether or not it's in this sort of portrayal, or if it's, oh, imagine that you're on a retreat and there are non-ghost assists available. Okay. Yes, I suppose they did not need to be supernatural assists. I suppose you could imagine that Mia has walked in and she has been well trained to set up on your lower back for a moment to help.
She already does that.
She already does that. Well.
Andrew, this is the second week in a row that you've made a reference to ghosts. Last time when we were doing yoga with your mom, you were talking about how you had to switch positions because you were right next to a wall, and you're like, oh, because I'm not a ghost. So
I did do that. That's interesting. I want to chalk that up to nothing, but the one thing that I had a fairly strong reaction to, and then for a moment, come back up into tabletop here. If you have a block, go ahead and move that out of the way. And from your tabletop, go ahead and walk your hands forward and work your way down to a position where your head can lie off to the side. So you're in a prone position with your arms by your sides for just a moment. Take a deep breath here and here. And exhale. And then go ahead, push into your hands and into your arms to bring your torso up for a Sphinx position. We're going to hang out in the Sphinx here for a moment. If you would like to make this a little bit more relaxing, go ahead, you can grab a block and you can place that underneath of your head. And then just while we're here, go ahead and try to tuck your tailbone just to feel what that is like in this position. And then release it. You don't need to hold that. That could be strenuous. With regards to the ghosts, when we had I don't know who I shared this with. I know I shared it with Jen. When we had our initial read through of the play that at Fells Point, we were warned there are ghosts. And I was like,
or in the
play or in the theater?
In the theater, apparently. They were the producer from Fells Point, as long as one of the actors was like, oh, there's ghosts. Just they're mostly good ghosts, but they can be playful or whatnot. And I'm like, there was a time when being told that there were ghosts would actually put me on edge and scare me. I'd be like, well, I don't think there's ghosts, but what if there are ghosts? That seems like something very scary. This time around, I was like, there's no such thing as ghosts. Shouldn't. One of the best things that I think I ever learned from the internet is when you don't know what's happening and you think that there's ghosts, there's no ghosts. There's carbon monoxide. The answer is always carbon monoxide. Okay.
I would rather have ghosts.
All right. So we're gonna do something here. Go ahead and pull from your Sphinx position, go ahead and pull your right hand in so that it is underneath of where your shoulder, I suppose, is, and use that to push yourself over towards the left side. You, depending on how this feels in your body, it might help to try to push your pelvis in towards the mat. For me, I don't need to do that. I feel a couple of different stretches just hanging out in this position here. This is I do not have a name for this. I call it, I suppose it could be something like leaning Sphinx, although it's also, it's a little it's almost a half seal.
Andrew, I'm assuming you're not going to tell any of your guests that there are ghosts, otherwise they might not buy tickets. Or maybe they,
Oh, at the show?
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't actually. So one, I don't believe in it. Two, I don't think that ghosts, the idea of ghosts tends to not actually stop people from showing. The idea of ghosts, I think, tends to scare people if they're going to be somewhere alone, maybe
Sure.
at night, you
Or
know.
like your hotel room.
Right, right. But if it's just who is it? Is it James Randi who has the prize? You can always think of that. Go ahead and bend that right arm, bring that right arm back forward to come into Sphinx again. Pull the left arm back, and then straighten the left arm to take this on the other side. So I always do you two know about the, I believe it's the Randi prize?
No, but I know about Scooby-Doo.
You know about Scooby-Doo?
It's never a ghost.
Well, until like the first or second movie, when I think that there actually was a ghost, it did drive me nuts on the Scooby-Doos where they actually had ghosts. I think they did that towards the end. It was like this ghost of Scratch. I don't remember what it was, but at some point they actually did. Yes, it was never a ghost in traditional Scooby-Doo, and I think that anytime they introduce real ghosts, that should not be canon.
Agreed.
Anyway, here's how you know that there's no ghosts, because there's a gentleman who's had this for quite a while, who will put up like $1 million if you can provide proof of the supernatural, and he's never had to pay that out as far as I know. And that is your market proof that there is no such thing as ghosts.
Capitalism proves the non-existence of ghosts.
Yes, proof by capitalism.
I don't know. Have you ever seen Unsolved Mysteries? Or like
Yes,
any of
and
those
it's
shows?
scary. Yes, yes. I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time. I mean, I think they still make new ones, don't they? But yes, that stuff scared me in 1989. For sure. For sure. And I remember some of them would be ghosts, and I would be like, oh my gosh, that's totally scary. All right, go ahead and bend that left arm. Bring it back forward for your Sphinx. Yeah.
Do we have like a reversal for that stretch? Because
Do we have a what?
A reversal for that stretch?
Yes. We're gonna go right back into, this time a narrow-legged child's pose.
Okay.
So push yourself back down into child's pose. This time, your legs together. Yes, I don't even remember the details. I just remember the feeling of this one unsolved mystery. And I was like, oh my God, that was so scary. And it would always be like that. And in retrospect, you're right, it was really scary. But you know why it was really scary? It was really scary because there were writers who wrote stuff to get ratings, and not because they had the
And
stories.
music.
Yes, and the music. It was well produced to manipulate you emotionally. All right. There's. I had an experience once. I had an experience. Dana. Emily Potts. early on when I met, I mean, this would, gosh, I can't believe how long ago this would have been, but this would have been like 18 or 19 years ago.
Andrew, can I make a request that we do a thread the needle after this?
Yes, absolutely. That is a good idea. Let's take another moment here, though. So Emily is from Western Maryland, past Cumberland, and she used to work at, I don't remember what it was. I want to say like the Frostburg Carriage Museum or something. Okay. And she swore it was haunted. And I remember her telling me this, and I remember myself thinking, this is my friend who I really like and I really respect. And she just told me this, and she's so sure, and I'm not sure what to think because I think she's got it under control. And on the other hand, she told me this, so she must be crazy. And I have a different would no longer classify that as crazy. Classify things in far more shades and dimensions than that. But
Andrew, what about aliens?
what about aliens?
You
Are there
believe
aliens? Do we
this?
believe in aliens?
Do
I believe in
you?
aliens? I don't believe that there are aliens in the way that that pop culture will present them, like that you have UFOs and people being abducted. I don't know what there is. I don't know if there's other intelligent life out there. I would think that based on math there would be, but I would also think that based on math that what we see, I don't know.
I didn't used to believe in aliens until I saw this like mini series that Peter showed me about these hikers that went missing.
Mhm.
And it's
Carbon monoxide.
pretty crazy because they're all very experienced hikers that have all missing all over the world.
That's interesting. I don't know. I think aliens are not. Here's the problem with that. Go ahead and work yourself up to a tabletop, and then take your left hand, open that up, raise your left hand up towards the wall to your left. You know, Casper's going to give you a high five there. Pull the left shoulder blade back, and then go ahead and thread that left arm through back of the hand, coming down to back of the hand, back of the arm, back of the shoulder, coming down to the mat. Oh, wait, is everyone still there? I think I hit the button.
We're here.
We're here.
Good news. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna do this like this. So you believe in aliens?
I did say I believe in them.
You're suspicious about aliens. You're alien curious.
I'm more open to the possibility that something like that has visited Earth on numerous occasions.
I would say that I think that there is a ton of variability in the universe and all sorts of things that we don't know, but that the likely explanation for things like that are more likely to be in the realm of the terrestrial, and that there is probably so much that we don't know in the realm of the terrestrial. Like I think about, if you think about the number of I want to say like the number of diseases and the number of like dangerous creatures that are out there, and that we know about all of these, or all the ones that we know about and that we have knowledge about. And to have gotten that knowledge, it means that someone must have had that encounter and been able to either survive it or transfer that knowledge. And it must have happened with enough frequency that we know about it. Like if so it's not, you know, like a one-off thing that they ran into. And if you think about it in terms of that, and then, oh, well, then what about cases where it did not meet that threshold? You think about the other possibilities that are out there, then I don't know. One of the things that I take to some degree for granted, and I don't really understand how people think, because it's been a long time that I've been thinking this way. Go ahead and put your right hand down, if it's not already on the mat beside you. Push into that right hand and use that to open back up to the left side. Wave at the ghost or the wall or whoever it is out towards your left. Place that hand down back onto the mat. Before we go to the other side, go ahead and take one cow, pull the shoulders back, drop the belly. Is everyone still there?
Yep.
Okay, good. Sorry. Every time I like hit the button one time on the side of it, I'm like, uh-oh. Go ahead and round the spine, drop the head, exhale, inhale. Okay, right hand out towards the right side. Reach the fingertips towards the right ceiling. Let Casper give you a high five. Bring that right hand through, back of the right hand to the left side of the mat. Right ear comes down onto the mat. Apologies, I did not give great cueing on the other side because of dealing with the headset. But if you'd like, you can go ahead and reach that left hand out towards above your head. You can walk those fingertips up. You could also take that left hand and you could wrap it, the back of the hand behind the back, maybe reaching for the right hip crease. Anyway, what I was saying was the idea of thinking about things in terms of large numbers and percentages and probability. It has data. It has high word feud implications. But think about a lot of things like that, which I take from. It's one of the main things that I learned in college. I went to college for computer science, and what they teach you about in computer science, to a large degree, is measuring the general scale that things are happening at, and thinking in terms of scale of numbers and what might happen, as whatever percentage of some scale, or I don't know. I'm aware that I'm not, my words are not great here. They're a little blabbery, but the idea that in a large sample, what is the percentage that you have to be concerned about for something to happen that doesn't work, for instance, for reliability purposes, or how long does it take for a computer to do something? In a fascinating class in graduate school, which was like the intersection of computer science and philosophy, and where if you give the computer, there are ways that you can solve problems that you can say, okay, well, if you tell the computer to go through this order of steps, it'll eventually solve the problem, except that eventually is a very wide range of time and of space, because you can come up with a solution that, given the infinite, will work, but that if you actually do the math, that often you'll say there are not enough atoms in the universe in order to do the calculation the way that has been proposed. Go ahead and pull that left hand back in, place it, or if it is behind your back, unwrap it. Put your left hand down by your face. Use that to push yourself back up, opening up to the right side, reaching for the ceiling with the right fingertips. Inhale here, and exhale, come back down to neutral. Go ahead and we're going to do something a little bit different here. Come into a kneeling position. I'm going to call for right knee forward so that you'll be able to see me here. And we're going to take, this is sort of like an assisted eagle arms. So if this is not if this is not sufficiently relaxing for you, then modify as necessary. This is a way that I have found that you can work on your eagle arms with less discomfort depending on where your flexibility is. So right arm forward, typically that would mean that because the right leg is on top, we would go right arm under, but because of how we're setting up here, you're actually going to take your left arm under and right arm on top, and then catch your hands however you might catch them, but you don't need to fully catch them, because what you can do is you can lean down into your knee, place your left tricep against the top of your thigh, and use that as leverage to more easily get your hands into your eagle position.
Andrew, it reminds me of the Douglas Adams Infinite Improbability Drive.
Oh, he just called it that, right? Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've read that. It is. These are real things. These are wary of talking about anything particularly political. But the idea of the term I believe it's stochastic terrorism. The idea that if you go on television or if you go on Facebook and you say something which is like, oh, these people are to blame for something that is happening, there's arguably a moral responsibility there, because if you say that to 1 million people and 2 of those people or 1 of those people could be expected, based on distributions of how people are, would take that as a means to say, oh, well, then I need to go and act on that and do something terroristic like, then where was I going? I wanted to say something about quantum computing. I don't know. It's about the idea of understanding the application of what happens when you have large numbers and what can happen within those large numbers. So that bringing us back to are there aliens? I don't know, but I do think that there is so much stuff that we do not know that can explain a lot of the things that we might see. Go ahead and unwrap your arms and come back up to your kneeling position. And let's just take some arm circles here, because I don't know about for anyone else, but that was interesting. I've done that before, but I've never held it like that before. Just take some arm circles forward, and then go ahead and reverse direction, start taking the arm circles backwards. I haven't mentioned I think I have. Jackson is here. He is behind the camera on his mat, on the box on his mat, sleeping, because he's had a hard day, because we've given Selena access to the house again, and we're hoping we find out tomorrow that she'll get adopted. Go ahead, pull that right leg back in, bring the left leg out, and then we'll go ahead.
I love how that means he's had a hard day.
He had to see another cat who he doesn't like. Yeah. Yeah. It is a hard day for him. All right, go ahead and see about setting up on the other side. For me, this is the harder side. So option, you can always just take hands to opposite shoulders. But if you'd like, you can start and try to take your wrap, take the right elbow beyond the left thigh, see if that gives you some additional range there. And then with your eagle hands, eagle arms, go ahead and lean into it. Dana, I went to go, oh, I don't know, not just Dana, Dana I know is, I was going to say something about Earth Treks, which is now movement, but in any case, I typically on Sunday mornings, I'll go to train, since I can't do regular climbing, but I'll do some training on some of the stuff that they have. And today I decided I would go down to the Columbia area because then I could make a Costco run. And I went in and I had forgotten that there had been notice on this, that they had severe flooding at some point in the last 2 months at that location. And the only thing open is the ropes area. And everything else is closed, and they have like, I don't know, it looks like they like took up all the padding on the floors or whatnot, and I guess it all got soaked or whatnot. And they're hoping to be back in the summer.
Wait, is it not called Earth Treks anymore?
No, got bought
They-
out.
It's it's
idea.
called Movement now. Them
wow.
and another group got bought by or got combined, merged with some place called Movement, and they'd gone with independent names for a while, for a couple of years, I think even, and then they decided that they were going to rebrand a few months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
No idea.
yeah. Go ahead, unlock your arms. Bring yourself back up. We'll go ahead and we'll take arm circles. This time, let's start going backwards. Yeah, I thought when I heard about that, I thought Movement Lab in Hamden might not be happy, or in Remington might not be happy about this.
Oh, they closed down already.
Did they?
A while ago, I think last year at some point or earlier this year.
I thought they were still, okay. I don't know how long.
They for good folded.
Oh, that's a shame. I never got the opportunity to go, but I always thought they had interesting looking
What?
things. If we haven't reversed, go ahead and reverse.
I used to do Mai Tai there and a whole bunch of other things.
Mary, you do a lot of things. I'm
You do.
woman after my own heart. Like just do so many things. Go ahead.
Never
and-
bored.
Never bored. Go ahead and make your way back down to a seated position. We're going to take a seated forward fold here. If you have particularly tight hamstrings or semi-tight hamstrings, or you just want to do this because it's what you want to do today, go ahead and sit yourself up on a block. I need to sit up on a block because I'm not reaching. My pelvic tilt is never quite where I want it to be, and this makes things a lot simpler. We're gonna take the beginning of the Ashtanga standing sequence because I've been thinking about it, but we're going to take it from a seated position. So if you are seated up on a block and you would like to make things a little easier on your knees, potentially you can go and you can take a block and you can place that underneath of your thighs. Go ahead, inhale, get nice and tall. Think cow with your chest. And then bring your hands up towards the ceiling, make peace fingers. Take your peace fingers, point them towards your big toes, reach forward for your big toes. Inhale one more time, extend through the crown of the head, up, and then exhale, fold. And maybe you pull a bit with your arms, elbows come out towards the sides. I think in recent sessions, I've often talked about finding maybe a 5 in the 1 to 10 of stretch here. This would be a good place to find the 5. Allow your head to get nice and heavy. And let the position do the work.
This is another one where we could use the Casper assist.
Yes, yes. You know, you can certainly visualize it. I guess to some degree, it's my responsibility to give cues that help you to visualize it, because that can do that. You can imagine. I'm trying to think about like the shoulders almost pulling forward, and I can't think of a good way to do it. Thinking of a pulling action. And so the elevator thing that I had said before, sometimes I think about that less in the context of yoga, but more in the context of weightlifting. Go ahead and release your toes. Go ahead and sit back up. We're going to come back down into that forward fold in a minute for the Padahastasana version. I have that right, where the hands will potentially be over the tops of the feet, but we'll take a momentary break from this position, from that position. And think about if I'm lifting a weight and I want that weight to go up, I will visualize there being like an elevator and the elevator ascending. And I find that can be slightly helpful. There's all sorts of tricks you can play with the mind to do things like that, and you know, something that I like that reminds me of is your body can do things asymmetrically and not realize it. I don't know if I've shared this one before, but I've done exercises where I haven't done the same weight at the same time, like heavier on one side, and I focus on the lighter side, and then I'm able to do the heavier, which if I had two heaviers, I wouldn't be able to do them because it's too much. But something about the mental thing happening, the engagement and making that go, allows for some greater capability on the other side. Go ahead, inhale, exhale, fold forward, let the wrists go to the toes and the hands go beyond the feet. Let the head drop and you'll fold forward again here. And from here, maybe you push out with the feet, maybe you let the heels slide a little bit more forward. Maybe you imagine that Casper has returned. He only needs a few more credits before he finishes his, I don't know.
Apprenticeship.
Yeah, his, before he gets his ghost certificate.
But he's friendly, so he would help even afterward.
Well, of course, he's not doing it just so that he can get the certificate and then go, I don't know, clang some pots and pans in the middle of the night to you know. All right, go ahead, inhale. Release the feet from the hands. Make your way back to where you're seated up, where you're no longer folded. Remove any blocks that you have. Make your way up to, let's do it. Make your way up to a standing position. And is anyone opposed to taking a triangle pose here?
Nope, I'm not.
Okay, well then let's continue. I was thinking actually about how one might do a reclined triangle, but I think that let's take a traditional triangle. So if you're standing facing the top of your mat, go ahead and step your right foot out. I don't know, 3 feet, 2. They always say 3 feet, but you know what? I'm not that tall. So a little bit
A
less.
leg's distance.
What's that?
A leg distance.
Leg distance, yes, a leg distance. Right toes pointed towards the back of the mat. Left toes angled a bit off towards the back of the mat, maybe How many degrees is that? Is that like 80
45?
degrees? Is that 1 o'clock? Maybe a little bit less than 1 o'clock, maybe 12:30. Go ahead and bring your hands out to the sides, reaching out, left hand to the left, right hand to the right. That's convenient because that's the sides that they're on. Go ahead, bump that left hip back towards the left, reach towards the right with the right fingers, and then fold over that right leg, keeping a micro bend in the right knee, reaching down maybe towards the right shin or towards the right toe with the right hand and fingers, reaching up towards the ceiling with the left hand and fingers, maybe pulling the left shoulder blade back and opening with the left shoulder. If it's comfortable for your neck, feeling free to look towards the ceiling. And then rather than collapsing on the right side, thinking about getting long, reaching through the crown of the head, maybe pulling the right leg back, feeling the bottom of the right foot push into the mat and engaging the right hamstring. And take one more breath here. Inhale and exhale, come back up. Turn your right foot towards the left, and then the left foot all the way towards the left. I like that. And we'll take that on the other side. Go ahead, if your hands are out, drop them for just a moment. Take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. On the next inhale, extend the arms out. Orient yourself. Sorry, don't orient yourself. That's a different pose. Go ahead and bump that right hip back towards the back of the mat. Lean forward with the left hand. Reach with the left fingertips. And then take the left hand down towards the left shin or towards the left big toe or the floor. The right hand up. Same cue here. Pull the right shoulder blade back. Open up the right shoulder. Maybe think about internally rotating the right hand. Micro bend in the left knee. Focusing on some external rotation on the left leg. And maybe focusing on pulling the left leg back. Also pulling the right hip back. And take one more breath here. Inhale, exhale. And then on an inhale, bring yourself back up. And then, yes, so go ahead, face the side of your mat again with your arms out. This time, definitely recommend, since this is not a strenuous class, to have a block available. Maybe you even hold the block in your left hand. We will take a twisted triangle here. So block in the left hand. You can set it up on the floor, or you can just hold it. There is no right or wrong way. That Casper told me that. Orient yourself towards the back of your mat, towards your right foot. Reach out with your left hand, and then bring your left hand down, either towards the outside of your right foot or the inside of your right foot, with or without your block. Turn your right hand up to face behind you, to face the wall behind you, or whatever it might be that is behind you.
We're indoors, so definitely a wall.
I hope. I'm trying to imagine, can you be
This is
indoors
Asuka.
and not have, is there such a thing as a non-wall? Is that possible?
If you have a sukkah, then you don't have 4 walls.
I guess that's true. But then are you really indoors?
Theoretically.
I guess. You're spiritually indoors?
Yeah. Huh. Casper approves.
Casper approves. He doesn't haunt sukkahs. Go ahead. Inhale. I don't even remember. Come your back out towards neutral. Turn the right toes in and the left toes out. Switch the block if you are using a block here. Hands out and then orienting yourself. We would be towards the front of the mat here and then coming down. Right hand comes down to the inside or outside of the foot or the block. Reaching up the left hand. Again, thinking about external rotation, thinking about pulling the left hip back, but also opening up with the right thigh. Pulling the left shoulder blade back. And take one more inhale here. And exhale. Come back up to standing. Arms out, and then come back to the top of your mat. We'll take, let's do that. Let's actually do both of those. We'll skip the side angle part of the sequence, but open up again to take a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe you want to have a block available here. Take your hands out to your sides, reaching out. Inhale, exhale, hands to waist. Inhale, push the chest forward. And exhale, fold. Hands come down to the mat. Here we're in a half fold position. So inhale, reach through the crown of the head. And then exhale, fold further. See if you can start to walk your hands further underneath of you. Think about
Headstand.
what's that?
Are we going into a headstand?
Well, I'm not going into a headstand. You can if you would like to.
I'm also going into a headstand.
You're also what?
I'm also not going into a headstand.
Oh, I thought you said everyone else is going to be headstanding. No, I'm not calling for any headstands here. You're certainly welcome to.
This is always the cue that a beer does before we get into a headstand.
Yeah, sure. Headstanders on your marks. Yeah.
I don't think you can do it with that button. I know. I was like, I have a button in the way. That would be very dangerous. I'm going to try it.
One of the things that I like that a beer does in this position is that she will instruct you to place a block underneath of your head, whether or not you are reaching it, because it gives you something. It gives you something with gravitational pull, for lack of a better term, that you can focus on that seems to be effective in getting additional length. I will find that I will go further into a pose if I have something that I am able to reach towards. All right. On your next inhale, come back to a halfway lift. Exhale, take your hands to your waist. And then with a flat back, engage your core, inhale, and come up. I think I got the breathing on that backwards. All right. We'll take it's been a while since I've had one of Abir's instructions on that. She is always very sure to make sure that you are engaging your core so that you're not hurting your back on your way out of those. Go ahead, inhale, reach your arms out. Exhale, hands to the waist. Your hands will stay here for this one. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, fold. And here, what I want you to do, I don't know if I've cued this before. I want you to push using your thumb and your fingers, which you are using to hold your waist, and depending on if on where you are holding, you might be able to actually use your hands to turn your pelvis or turn where you are folding here a little bit more. We'll take one more deep inhale here. Exhale. Come halfway up, inhale. And then on your exhale, come all the way up. All right, we'll take one more variation. Anyone, your choice, but I'm going to call for the C variation. Inhale, take your arms out to the sides. Exhale, bind your arms behind you. Bind your hands behind you. Push the chest forward, pull the shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale, bring the head down forward. Bring the arms up behind you. And careful to not hyperextend. You can think about internally rotating. So it could be internal rotation. Turning your arms so that your hands would start to face out as you are pulling your hands up and using your hands and arms and shoulders to get deeper into your forward fold. I'll take one more inhale here. And exhale. Release your arms. Take your hands to your waist. Inhale, come up, halfway lift. And exhale, come all the way up. Heel toe your feet in if you're at a particularly wide width. Make your way back to the front of your mat, and then make your way down to your back. Go ahead and grab your strap. We'll take some final leg stretches here. So go ahead, take your strap, reach your right foot up towards the ceiling, bend the right knee, and place the strap around the ball of the right foot. Begin to reach through the heel, straighten the right knee out. Option here, I hadn't thought of this before. I was going to say option if you'd like to take a block and place it as a little pillow underneath of your head in this position. Maybe you walk your hands up the strap a little bit, letting that right leg come back a little bit more towards you. Again, maybe not looking for an overly strenuous stretch here. We certainly can. Taking a deep breath here. Exhale. Take both sides of the strap into your right hand. Place your left hand on your left hip. Use that to ground the left side of your body, the left side of your hip, your waist, onto the mat, and allow your right leg to open up towards the right side. Maybe you find a position where the elbow comes down and the right leg hangs out. Maybe you, from here, experiment with reaching through the right heel, straightening the leg, bending the leg. You can again imagine Casper is coming over and he's pulling on your leg, trying to get you a little bit more stretch here. Casper, that tickles. Speaking of, I'm going to be left to having ghosts do assists because apparently I'm all out of felines.
Aw.
He's tired of sleeping or waiting or whatever it is that he might be doing. Go ahead, bring that right leg back up to center. Switch the strap over to the left side. The left hand, reach the right hand out towards the right side and let that right leg fall over the body. And maybe you're in a position here where you find, hey, maybe you want to walk your left fingers up that strap a little bit more. Feeling free to let that head fall over towards the right side, taking your gaze over your right shoulder towards your right fingertips. I should call, I don't know. Jen's right that my mother, she's not going to come. Well, maybe she was going to come. She said she didn't get out of bed yesterday. Yesterday was apparently not a good day.
Aw.
Yeah. And I did not get over there this weekend. Usually I make it over there most weekends, but I didn't manage to this time. My mother is concerned that Brian is 29 years old and does not have a girlfriend anymore. Go ahead and
I thought you were gonna say does not have a girlfriend yet.
I don't know. He finally had his first long-term girlfriend a couple years
Brian's
ago.
doing just fine.
Yeah, that's what I think. Go ahead, bring your leg back up to center. Take both hands to the strap. Go ahead and pull that leg in one more time, a little bit closer in, and then let it go. Unhook the right foot. I think he's going to be just fine also.
Yeah.
I think heavily based on the experience that you've had, market forces will continue to be better and better in his direction.
Yes. Market forces.
Mom, Brian will be fine. Additional proof by capitalism. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Pull your left
Once
knee into your.
he moves out and gets a full-time job, Brian's gonna be a hot commodity.
Pull your left knee into your chest and take your strap, wrap it around the ball of your left.
And you can tell your mom I said so.
I may. Reach through the heel of your left foot, straightening the left leg. And then maybe using the arms to pull on the strap to pull the leg in a little bit more.
I'm certainly a better catch than Adam. Don't tell your mom I said that.
I won't. Of all of us, Adam is the one who has got the children. So
I know. But he's not a catch.
he's a different type of catch. Everyone has their quality. Well, not everyone has their qualities, but most people have their qualities.
He's a very pretty fish with no personality.
Even if we don't all appreciate them. All right. Go ahead. Place both sides of the strap in the left hand. Right hand to the right hip. Use that to keep the right side grounded and let the left leg open up towards the left.
I would almost venture to say that Brian is probably single by choice.
He's single because he is dedicated to some degree to his work and does not
Yeah.
probably have the yes, he's not going like on Tinder or whatever, I think,
Yeah.
looking. So it's not that he wants to be single, but it's that it's not a priority for him. So and I think that that's in part why I'm not worried about it, because
Yeah.
yes, Brian is a good guy. I never did find out what happened with him and Olivia.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I don't need to know. I'm just but yes, I agree. He's a good guy. He will be fine. And 29 is the new 17.
Pretty much.
I don't think I'm that far off. Go ahead and bring your left leg back up towards over top of you. Switch those straps over towards the right hand. Let that left hand fall out towards the left side and let the gaze fall towards your left fingertips as you bring the left foot down and across your body. And again, maybe you start choking up on the strap with your right hand, crawling the right hand up the strap while you maybe straighten the left leg. It's funny how time changes and how we think of how, Jen and I have memories of taking Brian out when we were his age, and now he's 29. Yes, yesterday evening we went to the baseball game, the three of us. And in the middle of the seventh inning, Brian says, "Hey Jen, you want to go get a beer?" So they went and they got a beer. Yeah.
Brian's old enough to drink?
Brian is, I'm trying to decide. Brian has been old enough to drink for long enough that his old enough to drink could be in second or third grade.
I know, I was joking.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure that he's 14.
all right, go ahead.
You did
Go
the
ahead,
job.
bring that leg back to center. Take both hands to the strap. Pull that leg in a little bit more for just a moment. Okay. Go ahead, release the left leg.
Used to buy him dinner all the time, and he was
There?
like, "Can I have a," no, just in
Oh.
general.
I was gonna say. That's the way-
Release the left leg, put the
Asian
strap off
restaurant.
to the side. Go ahead and pull the knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Rock left and right. Left and right. Left and right. Take your hands, reach for the outsides of your feet. Find yourself in the happy baby. Again, maybe you rock left and right here, rolling out the back. I'm imagining, like, is this a thing, like, if you're rocking like that, like, can Casper play a game where he, like, sort of, like, inserts himself under there and then ends up like Play-Doh?
Underwear?
Under your lower back or something. Like, it's a ghost. It's some ghost trick or something where they decide they can get really flat. We're hearkening back to Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
Maybe he does that. All right. And then go ahead, release your legs. Let them go nice and long. Let your arms fall out onto the mat. Palms face up. The feet fall out towards the sides. Relax the shoulders. Relax the space between the eyebrows. Take a deep breath into the belly. And take a few moments before you hear my voice again to just be. Action is everything. Most of us, most of the time, unfortunately, don't have a bias towards action. We don't start a conversation with the cute stranger we've been admiring. We don't ask for the raise we feel we've earned. We don't move to the city we've been dreaming of since childhood. And we don't do these things because not doing them is easier than acting. That's not to say the outcome will be better. It will almost always be worse. But the comfort of the discontented status quo is much less scary than the potential of the unknown. Beginning to bring your awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, circling your wrists and your ankles, reaching up with your arms and out through your feet. Maybe Casper comes by to pull in your arms, give you a little extra good morning stretch, good evening stretch. Rolling over onto one side. Taking a deep breath in here from this position. And exhaling. Taking in one more breath here. And exhaling. And when you're ready, making yourself up, making your way up to any comfortable seated position. Well, thank you for being here.
Confused, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's that?
I was gonna say, I was confused by those closing words of wisdom. Are you saying it's okay to stay in the discontented status quo, or?
I'm saying if you're doing it, be aware of, I mean, I'm grabbing this from something that I'm reading, but I'm saying that be aware that we bias ourselves towards inaction because we're used to inaction, and it's easier than
Right.
than that, and to catch yourself. And it's, what is it? It's akin to the Eleanor Roosevelt quote: "Do one thing every day that scares you."
Mhm.
So, I don't know. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in practice and in taking the time for yourself, and in taking the time for everyone else who is here to spend some time with your body and to make some space for your mind and do some things that hopefully have some value, and something Casper appreciates the opportunity to.
Let us know about your schedule for Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't have any information on that yet. My anticipation would be that I do not, but I'm supposed to be finding out by today, and I don't have that information yet. So I would definitely know tomorrow, since I know I have rehearsal tomorrow. If I do not, then I would probably be interested in doing something the following weekend if you're available, especially with the extra time. And yes, I know we've already got the temple visit.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.